Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Wednesday, August 19th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Ball State game in 17 days, the game against Michigan in 101 days. Today's episode presented by Jeff Ruby's of Columbus, proudly offering nationally acclaimed U.S.D.A. prime steaks, seafood and sushi, impeccable service, live entertainment, and an attention to detail that is simply unmatched. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus to check out the menu and make a reservation today. All right, on today's show, we're going to take a look at the preseason AP Top 25 and what that might tell us about what people are expecting for the college football playoff this year. And boy, it might look a little different, and a whole lot of leagues might not have a lot of participation if things play out the way the AP voters are expecting. Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Insiders joins me today. Tony, we did a show kind of breaking down on the Buckeye Weekly feed, breaking down some of the AP Top 25, but I'll throw this graphic real quick for people just so they can see what we're working with here in terms of the AP Top 25. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Oregon. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, Notre Dame. Number 5, Texas. Number 6, Indiana. Number 7, Miami. Number 8, Texas A&M. Number 9, Ole Miss. Number 10, Oklahoma. Here's where the cut line is, because number 11, LSU, spoiler alert, not going to make the playoff, because number 12, Texas Tech, they are the top Big 12 team, so they would make the playoff here. Also missing the cut, number 13, Alabama. USC, BYU, Michigan, Washington, Penn State, SMU, Tennessee, Utah, Iowa, Houston, Louisville, and Missouri. The last team that would be making it here is Boise State. They would be the non-power group of the group of 5 or group of 6, whatever it is right now, representative here. And, you look at the whole bracket now, and it really jumps out to you that number 11, Texas Tech, number 7, Miami, number 12, Boise State. That's it. 9 of the 12 teams in the playoff from the Big Ten and the SEC.
And Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
But your point still remains. There is a big-time lack of representation from conferences that consider themselves Power 4 conferences. And you look at this, and it's almost SEC versus Big Ten. The Super League is already here, and you can't avoid matchups between conference foes in this. And it is what it is with the Big 12. Frankly, you would expect more from the ACC, but they've been down as well, and it is alarming. Like, the ACC needs to get Notre Dame now if they want to have any kind of relevance, because hanging all of your hopes on Miami, kind of dangerous.
Yeah, it is kind of dangerous. And I think the other thing that really jumps out is it's not like the ACC and Big 12 have a bunch of teams that are right on the cusp and, they just missed this year, because the top teams that missed are number 11, LSU, SEC team, number 13, Alabama, SEC team, number 14, USC, Big 10 team. They are tied with number 14, BYU. That is a Big 12 team. But then behind them, Michigan, Washington, Penn State. The first ACC team to miss out is SMU. They're 19th. Like, they are not just barely missing the cut. They're probably not showing up on those graphics on those Tuesday evening ESPN college football playoff shows. And then behind them, Tennessee, and then Utah and Iowa and Houston, Louisville, Missouri. Like, you've got some representation at the very bottom of the poll, but those are not teams that are just barely missing. The other thing that's a little weird here is, unless I am miscounting something, there are 3 Big Ten teams in the field. Ohio State number 1, Oregon number 2, Indiana number 6, but then a bunch of Big Ten teams just missing out on the field. So, if the Big Ten only gets 3 teams into the field this year, but it gets number 1 and number 2, is that a good season for the Big Ten? Does that prove what everyone says about the Big Ten, that they're great at the top and not very good below that? Like, what's the takeaway if it plays out like this?
Well, I guess if your hope is that Dan Lanning runs through the playoffs, you might be a little disappointed. But if the Big Ten, if they get 3 in, and those 3 teams win as many as the SEC has been doing, or as many as the SEC wins in this, then I think it further proves the Big Ten's top heavy power right now. But also, where's the trickle down for the Big Ten there, like they have in the SEC, where the top of the SEC has always been so good, and so that just means everybody else below them is good as well, because the top teams would also play good, close games against the middle teams. And you look at this, and as we know, preseason rankings on the SEC are chocolate and peanut butter. They go together so well. You don't want to have too much of it, though. And this one, I think, is going to call for a little bit of an upset stomach when you're talking about A&M and Ole Miss and Oklahoma. I can see all three of those teams missing out on the playoffs because they'll have 3 or 4 losses. This, to me, comes down to which of the conferences will have more 3-loss teams in, and which conference is viewed as being better, because then that benefit of the doubt is going to benefit 1 or 2 or 3 of those 3-loss teams, I think, this year.
One other thing that's fascinating about this year is if you look at the AP poll, there are lots of SEC teams in the top 10. Georgia, Texas, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU's 11th. So that's 6 of the top 11 teams in the poll are from the SEC. Cumulatively, total, including them, including every other SEC team, including Mississippi State, 0 first-place votes this year. It is wild how much it feels like there is a sense that the balance of power at the very, very top of the sport has swung away from the SEC. And boy, given that, and given the fact that I'm sure Greg Sankey would sure love that not to be the narrative again at the start of next season, and he would love for Tony Petitti to not be standing next to 4 consecutive national championship trophies at Big Ten Media Days in 2027. Boy, you look at the Texas versus Notre Dame potential quarterfinal match, or the Texas A&M versus Ole Miss winner playing Ohio State, or Oklahoma potentially playing Oregon, or Indiana potentially playing Georgia. And it's like, boy, oh boy, that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day could go a long, long, long way towards shaping the narrative of conference superiority for the next 12 or so months.
And I think that's one of the more entertaining things of the 12-team playoff is you can have more of a legitimate narrative, because when it's just the bowl games, it's when the SEC wins, it's because, well, that just tells you how much better the SEC is. When they lose, it's because they weren't interested. You could tell they didn't care, because it's just a bowl game and the interest wasn't there. The interest for the playoffs are here. And so there are no excuses other than who is the better team that day. And I'm looking at this, and I think eventually, if, say, the Big Ten wins it again this year and wins it again next year, the narrative from the SEC they'll be measuring like, well, look how many teams the SEC has had more teams in the playoffs than anybody else. And even with those teams, the Big Ten, I think, is still like way outpacing them in playoff wins, certainly of the 12-team era. But yeah, if the Big Ten wins it again this year, frankly, you're going to see what other metrics, what other statistics can we use to show that the SEC is certainly still the best conference? And of course, you do that by measuring all of the middle of the conference. As we know, it's the best way to know which conference is best by choosing and comparing the 9th place team in each conference.
Well, unless I'm forgetting something, can you tell me the last time an SEC team beat a Big Ten team in the college football playoff?
Is it going to be Georgia over Ohio State?
That's the last one I can think of, because I know they didn't do it in 2023. And if you take the current Big Ten roster, the Big Ten went 2-0 against the SEC in the semifinals that year, because it was Michigan and Washington, and then Ohio State stomped Tennessee and beat Texas in 2024. And yeah, even last year, you look at the teams the SEC's beaten. They've either beaten other SEC teams, or they've beaten non-power teams, or they beat, congratulations, you beat Arizona State in overtime in the Peach Bowl one year. But yeah, there's been a lot of 38-3 Indiana over Alabama in the monitors the last few years between those conferences. So, well, you will get to great news if you enjoy arguing about college football and this kind of stuff. I'm sure whatever happens this year will inspire even more arguments, even angrier arguments. You can have those all online if you want, or if you want to have a little bit of a smarter conversation about college football and Ohio State football. You can do that with us at BuckeyeInsiders.com. That's where we got Tony and I as your team insiders, telling you what you need to know from inside practices, covering the Buckeyes, talking to the Buckeyes, everything you need to know. We got Chuck Milletti, your recruiting insider, covering the future of the Ohio State program. Just had him on yesterday's show talking about defensive tackles. That's a show you guys will want to check out if you've not listened to that one. We got Ross Fulton and Michael Pettit. They are your scheme insiders, making you a smarter football fan. And we got Marcus Hartman. He is your basketball insider, covering Jake Diebler and the men's team, covering Kevin McGuff and the women's team. They've got a big showdown coming up with UConn in Columbus a little later on this year. Got plenty of basketball coverage there for you basketball fans. And of course, a really, really fun and active community on the Insiders Board presented by Jeff Ruby's Columbus. That is all at BuckeyeInsiders.com. Treat yourself to a month. Go ahead. You deserve it. You deserve 1 month of coverage at BuckeyeInsiders.com. Try it out. See if you like it. We think you probably will. Based on the early feedback from members, you definitely will. You can sign up today at BuckeyeInsiders.com. And thanks again to our friends at Jeff Ruby's Columbus, the award-winning upscale steakhouse in downtown Columbus. Named one of the top 50 steakhouses in America by Food Network. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus to check out the menu and make a reservation today. That will do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We will talk to you tomorrow.